Hello and welcome to PowerWash Simulator. It's been a while since we've done this, and the year is ending, so I think we need to do a little bit of a what's going on. I'm supposed to be filming Red Dead, but apparently I've been logged out of my Rockstar Games account, and I don't remember what any of the information is, and I don't want to deal with it right now, honestly, so it's time for PowerWash. This is the ice rink. Dirt Finder, is there any force in the universe more destructive than the youth? Wow. Our festive ice rink is due to reopen next week, and in its current state is unlikely to attract anyone beyond the most degenerate of the species. Since we lost its what word is that? Tarpaulin? Is that just a tarp? I'm assuming that's just a tarp. Covering to the high winds of spring, the local flotsam and jetsam. What? Flotsam? Flotsam and jetsam? What are these words? Are you speaking English? It's also been exposed to the elements these past few months, so that too has fed into its current plight. Certainly, sitting next to our newly open winter market, it offers bleak relief. Much obliged, Park Warden. I don't know half the things you said, but okay. So, Aurora Borealis. Oh, and look at that nice gnome constellation. That's really cool. Oh, look at this. Cleaning in progress. That's cute. We got gifts. Oh, this is nice. Tickets. This is so nice. Look at penguinos. Aw, this is adorable. I don't know if we're... And the polar bear. Aw, look at all this. This is so cute. And the reindeer. Aw, I love this. This is so cute. This is adorable. Very, very nice, very nice. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna get this whole thing done this episode, so let's get into it. Dirt Finder, I cannot even begin to imagine the extent of moral decay present in our children that would make them behave this way. I feel like you're exaggerating, just a little bit, but okay. Have you seen what they've done to the poor polar bear? I did. I think it's nice. Look what they've done. I think it's an improvement, if you ask me. Look, it's just some nice... Look, there's a snowman and a nice little face. I think it's lovely. I think you just need to open your eyes a little bit. I think you need to have the cool S, it returns. I think you need... Look at that frog. This is nice. I think you just need to have a little bit of Christmas spirit or holiday spirit. Whatever you want to say. I think you need to be a little more open. Oh, there's skating aids! Oh, that's so adorable. You know, I've never been skating before. The closest skating rink, or ice skating rink, to me... well, now I don't know. But previously, I think the only... I mean, the closest one... It was Seattle, I think. And maybe still is, I don't know. But I've never been ice skating. I have been roller skating. Not very easy. Not very good at that. But these are very cute. I like these. I have seen that scene of... Oh, what is it? It's one of those, like, medical drama shows. But it's like some performance on ice, and there's a dude who gets his fingers chopped off by the ice skate, by someone skating past, and that is now imprinted in my mind and is terrified, or it is terrifying to me. And, you know, birds don't have fingers, but still, that's a terrifying thought. And I don't know if that's plausible or not. I don't actually know if that can happen. I'm sure it probably has happened. But it's still, that's very scary. So, that I'm a little afraid of. Outside of that, I wouldn't mind going ice skating. What does this say? It's a little blurry. I don't know what that says. Something presents Jack Frost Figure Skating Extravaganza. Music, food, drinks. Can't read what the rest of that says. Very nice. Very pretty. And then the other thing I was going to mention, just before I forget, I've seen the Aurora Borealis before. It was, I guess, because it kind of came to my area, and it was one of those things that was kind of hard to see with the naked eye. I could, but it was not very bright, and I guess it was a lot easier if you pulled out your phone and took a picture of it. For some reason, I don't know why that is. I'm sure there's some sciencey explanation. But I did see it. I did see colors in the sky. They were visible, and it was very, very pretty. The ones I saw were very green. I've never seen, like, the blues or the purples. But I would love to see them again. I think it'd be very cool. What does this say? Oh, I'm missing a ton of stuff underneath. I gotta go back and clean all this. Before I forget, I'm gonna be like, what part is missing? Santa Gnome's ice skating lessons. I can't read the rest of that. I don't know if that's because my graphic settings are really low, or if it's just normally that blurry. So the reason I'm doing PowerWash is not just to avoid dealing with my problems in Red Dead. The main reason, well, truth be told, that is the main reason, actually. I was gonna boot up Red Dead, because the last time I released a Red Dead episode was, according to YouTube, a month ago, which is horrible. But I booted up, and I remember it's been this way twice now, because I don't even remember my password. I don't even remember what email I have it associated with. So I need to take time to go and figure out what the email is, what the password is, do all the account recovery stuff, so I can get into Red Dead and film another episode of it. So, truth be told, that is mainly the reason. But it's been a while since we've done PowerWash, and I figured that, you know, it's kind of getting to the end of the year, at least as I'm filming this. Watch this video come out like January 7th or something. And I usually use these PowerWash videos for updates. These are kind of like my update vids and like what's going on. And so if you all recall, if you've seen the previous PowerWash videos, I have made some goals that I wanted to do this year, 2024. That I wanted to achieve, and truth be told, I don't remember what those were. So, I remember what some of them are. And I was being very secretive about it. And I think I'm not going to be anymore, because it's kind of set in stone. And I've had enough people guess what the one I was being very secretive was. And it's also been recommended, so it's not a... I'm not going to keep it a secret anymore. And also because it gives me a chance to promote stuff, and I like that. So one of the goals was I wanted to move to a different editing program, and that has not happened, and that has been because I'm no computer expert, but apparently one of the parts in my computer is not compatible with the current version of DaVinci Resolve. And so, either I have to go through every single previous version of DaVinci to find out which version is compatible, or I have to bust open my computer and place the part. But I know nothing about computers. I did not build my own computer. Someone else did. I don't know what to do. So I would have to pay a bunch of money to go, one, buy the new part, which is probably expensive, and two... it's either the driver or the graphics card or something. I don't know. I don't actually know what the part is, but it's some sort of part, which I know is probably going to be expensive, because I don't know anything about computers. And so, for the time being, getting that editing program I wanted is probably out of the question for the time being. But I may have another editing program I may be able to use. And so that's not set in stone yet, but I may still be able to get a new editing program. A better one. And it's not going to be anytime soon, because I would have to learn it and obviously, you know, figure out stuff like that. That is something that will not happen this year. It'll probably happen probably early 2025. Like, probably January is when it's going to happen, honestly. I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited for that, but I'll get more details as it comes out. The other goal I had was, and I was being very secretive about it, but on my streams, twitch.tv/magwork, a lot of people had already guessed or even suggested that I do this, and I was kind of being kind of coy about it at first, but I've decided that enough people have suggested it, and I was not being very secretive about it. It's just the obvious thing to do. And I'll stop beating around the bush. So I've wanted for a while to get a PNG tuber or a VTuber going for my streams. Just because at the moment I have nothing to look at. But I also don't want to use a camera because I don't want you to see my being. I don't want to be perceived. So I think a VTuber, I'm just going to say VTuber for the simplicity of it, but it's probably going to be a PNG tuber. For those of you who don't know the difference, a VTuber is essentially like those 3D model streamers, or YouTubers, I guess, but it's mostly a streaming thing, if I'm not mistaken. And then a PNG tuber is essentially the same thing, except it's a 2D thing. It's not like a 3D thing. But for the simplicity's sake, I'm going to be saying VTuber. So I've been wanting to get a VTuber for a while, and I think that is something plausible. The reason I was never able to get it set up, one, I could never formally settle on a design. I still don't know what I kind of want it to look like, because in terms of channel art, because I do my art, right? All the art I've done is my own. I've never commissioned anything, I've never bought anything, or had anyone make anything for me. Everything I've made, asset-wise, is my own, for good or for bad. But I still have not fully settled on a design for what I want any character to look like. And so, one, that's a hurdle, because it's very clearly inspired by Death's Door, if it wasn't blatantly obvious. But I don't want to just copy it, right? I do want to come up with something original and my own. And I do kind of want to make it myself, if possible. But the other problem was, because even if, you know, all of that wasn't a problem, because theoretically I could just make any sort of random stupid drawing and make that my VTuber, right? The big problem was the program I was planning on using was, apparently, from one of my sources, it has had a lot of problems recently. It's got a lot of problems with crashing, and it's not very intuitive. I've opened it before, and I tried to mess around with it, and I didn't really know what I was doing, couldn't really get anything to work, and the streamer that I was watching who did use it said that they switched from it because it was just having a lot of problems, and it was more trouble than it was worth. So, that in mind, I have to now find a new program I want to use for my streams. And the very last problem, which only came into kind of account recently, is I don't know if my computer could even handle it, for one. Because I know it's kind of very resource intensive when you do have these things going. And I already have enough problems with streaming, and internet, and things not working, and being slow. I don't need more. It is still something I want to do, and it was originally something I wanted to do in 2024, but it's not going to be something I'm going to be able to do, just because, you know, there's like less than a week left in the year. So, and I have nothing prepared or planned. One of the reasons I kept it a secret is I definitely wanted to have, like, I wanted it to be a surprise. I wanted it to kind of be like, oh, I'm working on something big, and then, you know, I pull it out and like, look, I did this, and it'd be this whole cool thing. But if I'm gonna be honest, and if I'm gonna be transparent, you know, I don't want to be like, well, you know, I was gonna do this, but it's not really working out. I want to be honest. I want to be truthful. Can I not put I can put it here. I want to do that, and so, truth be told, yeah, that was something I was planning on doing, and it has not gone according to plan, as most of my plans go. But it's, I want to be very clear. It's not something that I'm canceling. I do want to do it at some point. It's just not right now kind of thing. But it's also, when I say that, I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to focus on it, it's not going to be for a while. I do want to do it. I'm very excited about it. VTubing is something that initially I was very against, for stupid reasons, but I've been very open to it for a while. And it took me a while to kind of see the benefits of it, but once I kind of found a couple examples of stuff I really, really liked, and I was more open to the idea, it's been something I'm really excited about, and I think I can do a lot of cool things with it, and I've had a lot of cool ideas. It's kind of hard to set up. It's complicated. But I've had offers of help getting it set up from some friends of mine, and so I might be in contact with them, and so we'll see what we can accomplish. I just wasn't able to do it within my time frame. But it's something I am actively working towards, and I do want to do. That's mostly my point. Because I feel like when I say, not at this time, it gives the moment like, oh, I'm not going to work on it, which isn't true. I do want to work on it. It's just, I wasn't able to do it when I wanted. What does it say? See, Parky's got you cleaning up the ice rink. Think he'd happily flush us all away, too, given the chance. I don't know who you are. Indy Clemson. That was one of my goals. Another one of my goals was, I think, maybe? I think I wanted to do, like, a social media presence of some sort. I don't remember if that was an actual goal or not, or was unofficially a goal. Yeah, that didn't happen. And I'm not planning on making it happen anytime soon. I'm not big on social media. I have enough mental health problems as it is. Why would I want social media? The only one I'm thinking about maybe potentially using. Apparently Blue Sky is kind of becoming the big thing right now as a replacement for Twitter. I don't know anything about Blue Sky, but that is the only one that kind of sounds appealing at the moment. But I've done, like, no research into it. And I still, one of my biggest problems with social media is just how invasive they are. They are so invasive in privacy, and I care a lot about privacy. And so I am the guy who reads all the terms and conditions when you do something. You know, whether it's going to a doctor's office and having to sign all the paperwork, or signing up for a new mobile game and they're like, here's our privacy policy. You know, I do that. Cookies, if I'm going to a website and there's no way for me to disable cookies or, you know, stuff like that, I won't use a website. I'm very stingy when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, I've just always been that kind of guy to do that. So I'm very skeptical and hesitant when it comes to getting social media accounts set up. But I know it's like the thing you're supposed to do. So like, oh, if you want to expand your brand, expand your audience, you gotta get social media, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But it's like, yeah, I don't even know what I would post, is the other thing. Because I do art, but it's not, it's very far and few, I've struggled with this phrase. Few and far in between. I don't know why I always struggle with that phrase. Anyway. It's a thing, I don't do it that often. Even though I do want to do more art, and that's kind of one of my resolutions, I think, for the next year, even though resolutions are terrible and they never work out. Go watch CP Gray's? CPU Gray? What was that guy's name? The little stick figure guy. He did a video about resolutions. That's pretty informative. Go watch that. Yeah, so I don't have anything I would post. The only things I would ever post is like, hey, new video's up, or hey, I'm streaming. Or updates saying, like, sorry, no stream today, because blah, 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 blah. Or, sorry, I'm having problems with this, blah, 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 blah. It would be updates. But that's already what I use the community tab for. So, I don't totally know what I would use it for. But, like I said, I don't know if that was ever an official goal, or just something like, yeah, I should do this, but I'll get to it when I get to it, maybe. I don't actually remember. But regardless, that didn't happen, and it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Sorry. Everyone, I guess, who was excited for me to get socials. The other goal, maybe, because like I said, I don't actually remember, was the shorts. I think I wanted to do YouTube shorts for what? Did you? I had a lot more to clean, but okay. Being generous. Well, it's the season, I suppose. Shorts. I was thinking about doing like more YouTube shorts to kind of expand stuff like that. I was really big into the idea, and yeah, that never happened. I made one short, a single short about the bone sharks, and I didn't necessarily enjoy, well, I didn't necessarily dislike it, but I also kind of didn't get anything from it in terms of views, and also, like, for my own sake. It's not something I was super passionate about in the first place. I kind of felt like it was, okay, well, it's what's popular right now, so I guess I'll just do it. And, I don't know, I kind of felt like I forced myself to do it, and I didn't actually enjoy it. I'm not saying I'll never do shorts again, I'm just not going to prioritize it. Although, I could theoretically start posting stream clips for shorts, because that was kind of the original idea, but now that I actually have Like, I have a VOD channel now. When I did the other short thing, I never did have a VOD channel. But now that I have a VOD channel, maybe I can start doing shorts with, like, stream clips or something. That could maybe be interesting, but it's not going to be something I'm going to ever force myself to do. It's only going to be a thing if I want to do it. Because I don't want to force myself to do anything that's like a trend that I don't already want to do. And I'm sure at some point I'll walk back on that statement. But in terms of this specifically, it was never anything I was super passionate about. And I just wasn't big on it, but I felt like, oh, you know, it's what's popular right now, and it's supposed to get you the views. But the amount of views you have to get any sort of benefit from it is crazy. I just feel like it's not even worth it. So, I don't know, but that's a whole rabbit hole on its own. And I briefly mentioned the VOD channel. Speaking of the VOD channel, go subscribe. It's just called Remagwork. Links in the description. My VOD channel happened this year. And I'm excited about that, because I don't remember if that was one of my goals. I think it was. I can't actually remember, because I did no research before I started this. I mean, like I told you, Red Dead doesn't work. All right, screw it, PowerWash. Like that was the maximum extent of my planning. So, but I think I know I did want to get a VOD channel up, and I do have that now. So, if anything, I got that goal. that goal happened. I did that. But the goals were very arbitrary, and I didn't plan anything. Because if I wanted it to make sense, I should have done, here's my goals for 2024 at the beginning of 2024. But I kind of just made those goals in the middle of the year. There was no rhyme or reason to it, which is kind of the way I live my life, but, you know, that's what happens when you have ADHD. So I feel now that it's the beginning of the year, like all kind of goals in vain, I can be like, okay, start of the brand new year, new me, here's my goals, here's my plans. And again, as I mentioned, that's mostly not gonna happen, and it doesn't work for several reasons. I don't know, just have some sort of plan, some sort of information that I can get out to all of you so that you can kind of see, okay, here's the plan, here's where we're going, here's what the deal is. Because communication is one of the most important aspects in every relationship, and communication is not something I'm good at. So I'm going to try and work on being better at communication and saying, okay, here's what's happening right now, for the sake of all of you, and also to give me some sort of structure. Because I'm very go with the flow, but oftentimes the flow doesn't go, and so I don't go, if that makes any sense. So I need to have a little bit of structure. Structure with flexibility, like skyscrapers in Japan, so that I can kind of function. And so that's kind of mainly the purpose of, not necessarily this video, but making goals, I suppose. This video is mainly just, I made these goals, where are we now? And to not at least my surprise, it didn't happen. Which I was kind of expecting, but I still wanted to, I don't know, like I said, give some sort of structure. What I want to do differently is I kind of want to, I don't know if a timeline is necessarily a good plan, but I want to make my goals achievable, and I want to do something more tangible. And this kind of goes back to that video I've mentioned several times, where it's not, I want to lose weight, you know, or I want to read, you know, more books, or I want to do more art, or whatever. You know, have something like a number, perhaps. It's like, okay, instead of, I want to release more videos this year, it's like, okay, I want to release 4 or, you know, 8 videos a month, or whatever my number is, right? I kind of want to give something, but I also want to make it achievable. I don't want to put it far beyond the realm of possibility. I do want my goals to be something that I can actually achieve, right? And so, one of the tactics or strategies that I have read up on about dealing with ADHD is making lists, but making a list of things that you can accomplish easily. And so something that'll even take you a minute, right? It's like, okay, it's baby steps, right? And that, because your brain, at least if your brain on ADHD, really likes it when you cross those off, because it gives you that boost of dopamine. And so if you can get tasks on that list, which writing the list is always the hard part, if you can get a bunch of things on there that you can achieve easily, your brain will really, really like it if you cross off those things, and so that it's not as overwhelming, and it allows you to get more work done. Or so I've heard. Like I said, getting the lists and writing it down is a hard part, but I'm hoping to kind of do something like that with my goals. Does it say, like, the park he cleaned up the skate park before the televised state championship? He's no idea what that did to our rep. The Buckton crew have been rinsing us ever since. Are you like a gang? I don't know who the Buckton crew is. As of right now, I don't exactly know what those goals are. I haven't thought about it. So maybe this will be a two-parter. One, just so that, you know, I can clean the whole thing without this being an hour-long episode. But two, so that I can actually think about my goals and make a plan and stuff. Not only for content reasons, but also my own personal life. Like I mentioned, I want to do drawing more, and I want to, I didn't really mention this, but work on digital art more. Because I am a traditional artist, pencil, paper, stuff like that. Can't color to save my life, but since I'm making all my own assets, it's kind of important that I do stuff digitally. And so I've been looking into digital art programs and stuff, and potentially even getting a drawing tablet. I don't know how much benefit it would get me. It's something I've been looking into, and I know I say that a lot, but I do mean it. Because I think it would be beneficial to the channel. All this stuff is for the benefit of the channel, because I do care about it. It is my baby, if you will. And I really like it, and I want to see it grow and not fester. Prosper. Don't know why I confused those two words, but it's something I do care about. And so all of these are for its own benefit. But, like I said, I haven't figured out what those are. So this will probably be a two-parter. Maybe I'll have one come out before the end of the year and one come out after, I guess. If I'm able to actually pull that off. But that'll be my homework, is sit and think about what I want to do, what my goals are, within reason. Because I don't want to give too much information away, but that's something I have to work on in therapy as well, because I'm doing therapy now. And my therapist and I have talked about making, like, goals, kind of like 3-month goals, but being kind of reasonable, but also willing to be flexible. That is kind of what I want to mimic with my goals for the channel. And then also personal goals, like I said. But maybe they overlap, too, like doing more art personally, but also that can have benefits to the channel, right? And so, I don't know. Some goals are going to carry over. Like, I do want to get a VTuber set up. I do want to get a new editing program. So some of those goals that I weren't able to achieve or have changed are going to carry over. Don't be too surprised about that. But I think I want to have some new ones as well. So, some old, some new. Stuff like that. And so, I think that's kind of the plan going forward. One topic I think I was going to talk about briefly before we finish up. I kind of just want to get to 50% before we end. Just get half of it done. Is, I talked a little bit about my character design, right? Because I have two kind of designs, if you will. So, like I mentioned, I'm very much a traditional artist. Digital is very new to me. I don't know if I really have a style, per se. And that's something I've struggled with for a while, is trying to find my own style. And that's, I know, like a struggle every artist goes through, and sometimes you change styles, and, you know, it's a whole thing. But traditionally, I try and go for realism. So I don't really do anything cartoony or anything like that. I have a hard time with that. My bread and butter is realism. And I'm not great at realism, but it's what feels most natural to me. And so every time I do stuff, I try and go for realism. So if you've noticed, the two kind of art styles I have for the channel are realism, which is like my logo and stuff, and then I have a little guy, which is like the cartoony kind of thing. I don't know which direction to kind of go in. I think cartoony would definitely be beneficial, because I don't want to overthink it, right? I think the simpler, the better. But, oh, that's a neat looking star. I'm going to need the ladder for this too. But it's also, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily feel right either. It kind of feels like whenever I draw something, I kind of force it to come out. And I don't like that. I do want it to feel very natural. And maybe that's one, because I'm not used to digital art, and two, I'm using not a art program. I use GIMP for everything I make, which is not a art program. It is a it's a photo editing software, which is good because I do need a photo editing software, and it has a lot of customizability. But it does have a steep learning curve, and oftentimes I don't know how to do certain things, or it's like, this is happening, I don't know how to fix it. It's got a lot of power, but you have to know how to use it. And I don't. And also, I'm not using it for its intended purpose, so there's also that. So I've been looking into other programs that I can do for digital art. And I think if I had a stylus and a drawing tablet, that would make it a lot easier for me, because that would feel a lot more natural, akin to using a pencil and paper. But I'm also a little worried because I don't want to go and buy this expensive drawing tablet if I never use it, right? So it's kind of a debate in my mind, and it's something I'm gonna have to figure out. Like literally everything in my life, I don't want to overthink it. So we're gonna see what happens. That's kind of the thing that I wanted to mention, is trying to find a style and stuff. If I did make a VTuber, what would it look like? I've sketched some designs before, and I wasn't really happy with any of them. They theoretically could have worked, but I just felt like I was leaning too heavily in certain designs or styles. I don't want to make anything that feels like I'm directly copying it. Almost every single piece of art. Wow, you're just gonna give that to me, huh? And that too, okay. Feeling generous. Everything I've made, for the most part, I'm happy with. If I'm not happy with a drawing, I'm not gonna post it or make it my channel icon. Like, I do make stuff that I'm happy with. Like, a lot of my thumbnails, I'll draw my little guy. And I mean, that's literally what it is. It's the little guy. It's a whole thing. And that's a whole another thing to unwrap, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it, especially because we're gonna end here soon. And it doesn't have too much to do with the main purpose, which was our goals, right? Where are we at currently? Where do we want to be? Where are we going, right? All that. And so, like I said, this will be a two-parter, I've decided. So the next episode, I suppose, whenever I get it out, will be I'll have my goals ready. So we can all look at my goals and see what's happening. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so if it is a little bit longer, sorry for that. But, wrapping up here, pun not intended, I think we're about done. I think all these presents are good. Yep. So we got 53% done. Got almost all that done. Next episode, we'll finish this up, and then we'll be done. So thank you so much for watching this episode of PowerWash Simulator. I hope you have a great rest today, and I will see you in the next episode. Happy New Year. Goodbye.